Okay, my people from the podcast, it's called Music for the Soul, Makeda.
Ooh,
Music for the Soul.
I love that.
Yeah, so we are here with Makeda. You got to know a lot about her and her work here in San Diego. This beautiful place here that I will show you. And it's amazing to have you, Makeda, here.
I'm honored. I'm honored to be here with you.
I want to start from the beginning. Tell us where you born?
Well, I came to San Diego when I was 3 months old. And my parents are from Texas, and the Klan ran my mother out. And
The Klan?
The Ku Klux Klan.
Ran your mom out?
Yeah. And so they came out here because my dad was working at the defense plants. Yeah.
But they both were Americans?
Yes.
Both American. Afro-American.
Yes. Yes. But, very poor, and so I grew up in San Diego, which was conservative, and I always wanted to do something to get in touch with my people.
Yeah.
And tune in. And then at a young age, I started learning about African history. And I learned that I was an African. And also, there was like people all in the Americas also. So I went to Brazil and, going into Bahia, when the plane was flying from Rio to Bahia, I could feel the enslaved Africans drowning in those waters, not being able to, to be enslaved in Salvador. And you could just feel that. You could, and I couldn't wait, to be there. At that time when I was in Brazil, it was very hardcore. They were watching people. The government was different. And the African Brazilians couldn't come to my hotel room. They wouldn't let them in. And one time I went to a club where, I was with my Brazilian friends, and I was with, a couple Americans, and so they all went in. We went in the club, and they wouldn't let me in because I looked like a baiana,
Yeah.
and I go, what? They go, you can't come in. I go, what? I'm American. They go, oh, you can come in. So they were classes.
Wow.
And I didn't know classes. I knew racism, and that was part of racism too, but because I was somebody, American, they let me in. So it happened the same thing in Jamaica. I was wondering why I wasn't getting served. I was with the guy that made Countryman, who produced it, and I was with this other guy that was in Countryman. And we just like, wow, we're just kicking back, and it rained, in Jamaica, it rains, during the day or something like that. And so, and it stops, and then you go on to do what you're doing, during that day. It's so incredible, stay in, play dominoes, of course, Jamaicans would smoke a J, But I was at a bar, and I wondered, everybody goes, yeah, range, they go, yeah, let's get a red stripe, Because they were getting something else. I go, yeah, they had rum. I go, red stripe. And then they were drinking their drinks, and everything. I was wondering, we were, talking, then about 45 minutes passed, and I didn't have my drink. And then I go, I didn't get my drink. What's going on? My beer. They said, we can't serve you here.
Oh my goodness.
I have my drink, I
Jamaica.
go, Jamaica. It was classism again. And that was against Rastafari. Dreadlocks used to couldn't come to those bars or whatever. When I was going back in the day.
That was in the 70s too?
Yeah, 70s, 80s were a little funny. And I go, guys, you got an international hero. You know, they didn't get it, Bob Marley, you know. And it was, yeah, it's and that was classism. And then I had, because of Rasta, I had to go in the back of the door and not the front door. And I couldn't figure it out, you know, of the hotel. Yeah, Rasta had, you know, black people have suffered and still suffer. And what's going on, everybody's going to suffer more with the new regime.
Yes.
So that's why we got to just bring this music, this King's music, this powerful music to chant down Babylon. We kind of let it, we let Babylon into the music and they watered it down. And they call it somebody's roots from California. But
yeah. So in the 70s you had a restaurant, right? A vegetarian restaurant?
1971. It's called The Prophet.
The Prophet.
The Prophet.
And then by the time you were studying broadcasting too?
Yeah, I knew Dr. Bronner and Dr. Jensen and, all the gurus of healthy eating at that time. Because Escondido was a whole hub that people from the East Coast, they came, and they planted avocados and, kiwi and orange, just, you could grow anything, and it was warm. So as young people, we just hung around. I would wait till Dr. Bronner would wake up, and he would talk to us. All one, all that stuff on the back of the Bronner's soap. Yep, he would be preaching all that, But it was interesting because then, I got into the activist Pan-African movement. And I when I was younger, I learned about Marcus Garvey and Malcolm and everything. So when I got older, I started hearing reggae music and seeing these dreadlocks, and then I was going, wow. So then I got into Bob Marley, but they weren't playing him on the radio. So, and then I tried to bring a press release, and no, we don't play that kind of no. Wow. So I went back to school for telecommunication and broadcasting at City, and I met Damaj Ali. Yeah, at that time I met Damaj Ali, and he was on Jazz 88. And we teamed together, and we started a show called Reggae Makossa and Reggae Fever. Reggae Fever, we were on 92.5, Star 5 at that day.
When did you start the Reggae Makossa? You remember the year?
I think it was in the 80s, 79, 80.
Probably one of the first reggae shows.
On the commercial radio.
In a commercial radio, in whole America probably.
I don't know, but I know it wasn't happening around until we got here, until we got on. And then later on, we started doing more music. Marcus Garvey Day with Mikey Tread. We produced everybody. Gregory Isaac.
I know.
Everybody. And then we'd bring them over, then we get a sensation like, Midnight, or we would bring all the new.
So when you were doing that, like bringing all those artists here and doing all their work, did you already have the space, the WorldBeat Cultural Center?
No, I would have to do different places in San Diego. I would have to, it was...
You didn't have this place yet?
No, it was incredible. I would find these different places and, cops harassed us because, people smoke guns,
Yeah.
And it was really interested in the places. And then I got this other place down in, I've been all over. I had the Adams Avenue Theater, and then we found this other place on Hancock Street in Old Town, but it's skating under the freeway, not too far. And so we called it WorldBeat Center then. It was an old West Coast production, old bar, you know, it's a gay bar that was before abandoned. So I was like, whoa. So we had Burning Spear there. We had, a lot of, shows, Pato. And then, we had a lot of underground electronic music, In those days, they called it raves.
Yeah.
So we had all kinds of stuff to pay the rent. We had, then I got into Sublime used to be there.
Sublime?
Sublime, And he's incredible, was the lead singer that passed. And I was like, when I was getting ready to have Sublime, I go, how did this dog get in here? There's a Dalmatian. I said, you'd have to take that dog. And they go, oh, that's Sublime, Makeda. And the lead singer would stay after, and he would sing to me, I can't think of his name right now. But then later on we did Radiohead, we did No Doubt. We started crossing over, because you had to just not think reggae. You had to bring
all those people.
Yeah,
here.
No Doubt. You could Google. That was at the other WorldBeat Center in Skylights. And that's when they had Tommy McCook and Roland Alfonso.
Whoa, Roland Alfonso.
Oh, in the Skylights.
Well, those are the OGs from the Skylights.
Yeah, but then we had Jim Rose Circus and Beck.
Oh,
and then Radiohead, like I said, No Doubt. No Doubt said, they said, man, Makeda, No Doubt is talking about you guys. They were at a concert and they go, the first place we played in San Diego was the WorldBeat Center. I was like, man, I tried to get in touch with them. I go, man, I want them to do a concert. And then they were going to almost do it, but they had a new album to put out. So I was like, let's see, so many people.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
When I got here in San Diego 2 years ago, and I was in the East Coast before here. I was in Washington, D.C. and then Philadelphia. And I started working in this surf shop, right? My buddy Robbie, he's from another generation, older than mine, and then he mentioned still today the magic in his head when he saw Burning Spear in concert. He said it was a little bit after Peter Tosh passing, and then Burning Spear did a show here, and it was amazing. It marked his memories forever. And I bet you are the one responsible for that.
I always did Burning Spear.
Yeah.
I always did it. If you think of Burning Spear, you would think of,
And I know you met Bob Marley, right?
Oh, I got a good picture of me and Bob. Yeah.
How was this? How did that happen?
Well, Peter Tosh is the Malcolm X of reggae music. Bob is the Martin Luther King
That's
of
awesome.
reggae
That's
music.
accurate.
And Bob was so nice. He's a nice guy. And later on, I got close to his mother, Sadella Booker, and she called me, her daughter. Yeah, and so, I would go see her, bring her herbs. I would go to 9 miles drive, and it would be in the morning, and she would wake up, and she would have because in Jamaica you don't buy herb in little baggies, they have newspaper, they put the branches and everything. So, Bob's mother would open up and smoke a spliff, and my daughter, she would wake up, when I was there, So honored, so bold. We go to 9 miles.
Did you meet him here in America or over there in Jamaica?
No, I met him in America.
You met him here
Yes.
when he was doing all those
Touring,
those first tours, right?
Yeah.
He came to the West Coast a lot. Did you watch him play like those small? Because I heard when they started here in America, they were playing like for like 200 people at
Yeah, it was
maximum.
small. It was small. Yeah.
Did you see that?
Yeah, I saw some, pretty small.
Little ones
And
can
then it
only
got
one.
bigger, tour buses.
I know.
Man. Yeah.
Wow, that was unbelievable.
Yeah, Bob was. And then after he passed, his mother let me sit in the mausoleum with his body temple. And God, I was in there. It's amazing, to be there with his structure there. And I prayed and I sit where Bob wrote a couple of songs on this log, and then where there was an herb plant right next to it, So 9 miles, in Jamaica.
Wow. That's so nice. And then, wow. So you started doing all those reggae concerts? And then
got bigger and bigger.
got bigger?
Bigger, and then I went to the sports arena for 25 years.
Wow, doing those reggae concerts.
Bob Marley Day after he died. And, they call me, Tony G. And he was Bob's engineer. And they said, Bob has cancer. They said, we want to go where Steve McQueen went to a cancer clinic in Mexico. They said, but Bob can't have no more chemotherapy. By the time Bob was in New York, he goes, people are coming in, they're using my hotel. He said, I'm really tired of it. People coming in, putting a hotel room, on him. And so I said, well, Bob, I called, and I told Tony, I said, we called the clinic, everything. He said, and I told Bob, I said, they said, no more, radioactive chemotherapy or anything. Bob goes, I don't want to do any more chemotherapy. I don't want to do it, And I said, okay, I'll send you, the instructions and, and things that they want you to do. So later I called Bob and I go, Bob, did you get, the things I sent to you from the clinic? Because, they wanted to test certain things. And he said, no, I didn't get it. So they just prevented getting all that stuff. And the next thing I know, Bob was in Germany. Wow. I was like, wow. I said he wanted to come, they wanted to come to the sun, In Mexico, it would have been sunny and he'd have been eating mangoes. So he went to Germany, but I don't know if he suggested that or whatever. But
Wow.
and then,
And now, Makeda, tell us, how did you build this place? When you build this place, right? This one we are in right now. How did it start?
Well, I knew that people of color should have a place. The park. It's ridiculous, We didn't have houses, a house of this or that. So I knew that we needed to have a place in Balboa Park. So I went up there and I looked all over, and they go, oh no, that's taken, oh no, So then I started looking around and there was a water tower, dilapidated water tower. And so I said, look, because I saw Central and you know, I was talking to those guys, and I go, hey man, let me get this water tower, you know, like you guys. So I went to city council, and they looked at me like, you know, because I'm always wearing my culture clothing.
Yeah.
And they looked at me, especially then, they looked at me like 30-some years ago. They were like, so they said, no, you need to get the House of Charm, which is the Mingi. Now, you know they weren't going to give me the Mingi, that museum part in the park. And then, you know, I showed up and they were looking at me. They weren't even like going to consider it, but there was a black man. And he was, I don't know if he was doing a sub for some city council district, but he was there and he goes, this lady has a legitimate concern. So I said, hey, you know, we don't have nothing in the park. And he goes, yeah, this lady has a legitimate concern. And they listen and they go, well, you could go to the meeting we're going to have at the War Memorial Building. And so I did. And that morning, my mother died. And they go, don't go. All my friends said, don't go, my baby, don't go. And then I thought about my mother scrubbing floors for those wealthy people in Point Loma and being a maid, and my daddy shining shoes down here for the military, you know. There were shoe shining places at the time, you know. I said, well, you gotta do it. And I thought about, you know, my ancestors. So I said, I'm going. And so they were arguing over some building, and I think Bob Filner and some other council people said, you know, I stood up there and I kept seeing my mother die in front of my face, you know, and in my head. So I got myself strong because I just sit outside. I didn't go in. I let them argue over what building they were arguing over. And so I got up, and when I came and I got up and I said, all I want is a dilapidated old water tower. And everybody started laughing. And then it passed. And so they were supposed to give me money to fix it up. It was just trash. They were storing stuff. It was so funny. This is one of the hardest, because I always like to get old buildings and fix them up. Yeah, because I had an import store, African import store, Golden Hills, and, you know, Two Square here. You know, I've always liked to do that, but this was really hard. They just left a construction dumpster out there and say, go for it. And they had all the Toyland parade stuff, you know. That's a Easter, they do a parade. But they just left all the junk in here and storage, you know.
All in here?
They just left junk, the one they didn't want. Because it was storage and people, they didn't want to get out of it.
Yeah.
And so I go, I go, hey, you know, the city awarded me this.
Bye, Makeda. Bless you.
Bye-bye. Thank you. So anyway, it took them 3 years to get out, but I started having my Earth Day over there, and I showed everybody, this is the future home of the WorldBeat Center. So.
And I bet a lot of people like helped you like collaborate the artists, right? For it to be
not a lot. I had one air mic, and he was really good. He's an airbrush artist, and you know, all of us need to, you know, a little bit more. Other people collaborated to really help, and all colors. You know, they stood in, they leaned in, they knew what the vision was, and that's unity among the people. You know, no matter what color you are, you know, we're one people.
And you know what? When one get in here, you can feel it.
I know, you're home. Yeah. You don't feel like it.
No.
Yeah.
You can feel it. All this energy of unity and love and like respect. for the culture, you know, like all these stories that he put over there. No, it's unbelievable. And then since you found this place here, you're still doing all those reggae shows.
I founded Culture Beat in Ensenada, and I brought everybody down there. You know, we were talking about the tribal seeds. You know, tribal seeds, and a lot of artists came from here.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, opening up at Don Carlos and
Don Carlos.
yeah, everybody's played, you know, with us. You know,
They all played here.
they play here and the sports arena.
And the sports arena.
But
and
Don
also-
was very young. I've been knowing Don a long time. Ika Mouse and yeah. Ika.
You know, this last Sunday, I just played with Soul-EP.2.
Oh,
the
yeah.
originals, Santa Davis, Fully. I met Fully 2 years ago. That I was two months living in San Diego, and he played a show at Winston's, and I was there and approached him, and we eventually became friends. And then he came once to my show here in San Diego. Now he calls me, invites me to go there and play with him. And for me, it's like it's playing with my idols, you know, like
man.
Fully Food on bass, Santa Davis on drums, and
Tony Chin
on guitar. Oh,
Wow.
we played one song last Sunday. I couldn't believe like the way my music sounded with those guys playing. I was so happy. But anyway, they live here. Don Carlos live here in California too,
Yes,
right?
he does. Southern Cal.
How about those other bands that you mentioned, like Tribal Seeds? You did,
Oh, they're
you
San
did stuff
Diego.
with them
No,
too?
they were like six. I get pictures of them when they're 6 and 7. Yeah, they started here.
They started here.
Yeah.
Okay, I wanted to ask you, how is the music scene? Because I know you've been following and working with this music scene for a long time. Can you give us an idea about like how was the 80s, the 90s, and a little brief description how was those years in terms of reggae music in California?
Those years were very exciting. They were exciting because there was something that we were doing. We're bringing the roots. We're bringing justice and light and an idle diet, eating good, and you know what people should how they take care of their structure, our hair, our locks. It was Naibingi, being with the Naibingi, being in the hills, you know, and sitting in the dust and reasoning. It was exciting, you know, Rastafari. There was so much to learn about our king, you know, His Imperial Majesty. And it was very exciting. Then the spoilers got in.
The who?
The spoilers.
What is that?
There's a book called 4,000 Seasons, and they talk about the colonialists as the spoilers. They come in and take the greed. Like they came and took blues, and they come in and they took. Anytime you're snatching things up for the people, we call them the spoilers. And they came in and took reggae. And then they put who they want, Soulja, all the white reggae artists, and they took it, you know. But we all worked hard to put it where it is. And so the spoilers,
The spoilers.
they spoil everything. The spoilers came in, spoiled.
It reminds me of the in Brazil was kind of the opposite, I could say, because I started playing reggae in 1996, my first band in Bahia. We were a mixed race band, and then another band started playing as well, and all of a sudden we are opening for Steel Pulse, and then later on Gregory Isaacs, and the scene became so big, but was the opposite. Like we promoted that music, and the music became so big that the roots guys
Right.
came from Jamaica, and they were treated as heroes. You know that in Salvador.
Right.
Before Gregory Zach died, he played a show, I think 2006, if I'm not wrong. He had 30,000 people to see him. 30,000 people to see Gregory Isaac, and he never set foot before in Bahia. I mean, once maybe in 2002, but what I'm trying to say is that we promoted that music in Brazil, and people, thank God, related to the roots, to the real thing.
Right.
You know? So
Right.
I think this was really important. And Makeda, how was to bring those people from Jamaica? Was it difficult to produce, like,
Yeah,
the trips? How did you
Bringing
do
them
to pay all those tickets?
Oh,
and all?
very difficult. I think
How do you do
I
that?
could have been rich if I didn't do reggae music. You too.
Oh my God!
You too.
I shake on my boots every time I have to do a promoter show, because you never know what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
But how did you manage to do it? Because just to see it, you brought those people here.
Oh, it was. And then, I partnered up with a young guy that played for, worked for Golden Voice at the time. Golden Voice was really small. And I partnered up with them, and, it helped me get bigger, with Slow Person. And then we kept going to the sports arena, and it kept getting bigger, but I didn't want to go to the sports arena, I was like, oh no, I'm going to lose control. This is Babel, the spoilers are going to come
Spoilers
in.
gonna get it.
And because you make it big, and then it comes out, when you make it big, that's when they come in. You make something that's incredible, and then you got to, fight to keep it.
Gotcha.
And so, I mean, it's weird. Once you think, well, I can't wait. Oh, wow, there's Bob Marley playing in the supermarket. And then we're going to, seeing it progress and get really big is like incredible. But it's the yin and yang. It's you always got the opposite.
Gotcha.
So I mean, I don't think that P. Diddy and those guys really realized that after they got so big that it would be that crazy. And that's what happens, anyway, with money and all that. But they've been doing that in Hollywood before these guys, But I'm telling you, it gets crazy, It's real crazy.
What projects are you working on right now in this present moment?
Well, I'm into science and birding, and I've got a National Science Foundation grant, and I just got another one to bring STEM science into the marginalized communities, our communities. So that's what I'm doing, I'm do birding. Teaching kids with Cornell University. I want to bring children and people outdoors to heal. The more outdoors, and I'm working with plants. And with a device, we hook up on the leaves and in the roots, and you can hear them playing music. Yeah, I would love you to play with some plants.
Wow.
We'll do a plant music concert.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, so I'm doing that, and I'm doing things with the environment. A lot of now that the spoilers are in. It's funny. You got me using that term again. It's in a book called 2000 Seasons. It's about how they conquered Africa. Spoilers. That's what they called them in the book. Spoilers.
They say
The
spoilers.
game. Yeah, that's a good thing. That's a good way, But yeah, so, and then, we just got a half an acre, a fourth of an acre or half an acre, and we're, planting food for the marginalized communities. and the older people, and we got them in these boxes that Habitat for Humanity is making for us. And they're redwood boxes, so they don't have to lean down, and they got them in, and they got wheels, and they can just turn them with sunlight. And so I'm working with nature. I'm working at, too bad you're, too bad it's like you didn't get to eat the food because we had collard greens that are just like so incredible. The food, okra, give me some Makeda Cheatom. Oh man, those ladies at the Church of Bompim, out there, man, cooking lakara. That's African,
I know.
Man,
I know. That's Orisha's food.
Yeah. The palm oil, oh man, good, good. So.
And music-wise, what projects are you working on right now?
Well, I'm working on something very soon over the holidays, and then we do a alternative New Year's, so we just have things that are on a whole nother level, and. People can come with no alcohol.
Oh, that's
and eat, and then we have singing bowls and harps to take you to a whole nother dimension, so you don't have to be out there ugly on the New Year. So then after New Year's, and it's Kwanzaa, I'm working on Kwanzaa too, yeah. And then after New Year's, the 16th, and we're working on Martin Luther King's birthday. We always do it with Pato Banta.
Wow.
So we always do the Ubuntu concert. Then we are, right now I'm booking for Bob Marley Day Legends, and that's in February.
Legends.
Yeah, I call it Tribute to the Legends because Bob Marley Day was like, it was almost, Peter had passed, and Greggy, and Mikey Dread, all the people, Frankie Paul, last show for Frankie Paul here, and last show for Mikey Dread, last show for Von Benjamin at midnight. Yeah. Ooh, what a talented.
And this one's gonna be outside in February? It's gonna be...
It'll be outside and inside,
Oh,
yeah.
Like the last one that I came. How was the last one? The big show you did outside?
Earth Day.
Oh, that was amazing. I was here.
Ooh, were you?
Yeah.
Oh, you're gonna be playing on it next year.
Oh, please, it will be awesome.
You'll be on it next year.
I really enjoyed that day. We had some stuff going on here outside.
And then back there, man. Yeah, just showing people, how to recycle and worms. Yeah.
Wow, what a journey.
Yeah, that's like, I think there was about 41 years or so, doing Earth Day,
Wow, what a journey. It's unbelievable.
Been a journey.
Yeah, you are a hero in this community.
Oh, it's just you guys are my heroes, and that's what I do it for. I'm just your servant. I'm just a servant. I'm here to, make sure my children, which is, you guys in the reggae fraternity and music fraternity, being able to keep this music going, because so many ancestors of our music, ancestor Janis Joplin, and also Jimi Hendrix, and which I got to see live, and,
wow.
And so many artists that I got to see, Ginger Baker, and a lot of those guys, who had things then called they were called love-ins, so we go there and party. You didn't know where it was going to be, so.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you work with Dennis Brown? That's my favorite singer.
I was with Dennis when he was 19.
Wow.
You can Google Dennis Brown and Makeda Cheatom. I'm doing an interview with him. This was a very nice piece. Bob Marley said his favorite artist was Dennis Brown.
Oh, I love it.
Crown Prince of Reggae music.
Yeah. I love it. It's so cool.
Yeah, he was a nice guy. He's nice. No ego.
Awesome.
No ego like that. Very humble.
That's good too.
Yeah, man.
Wow, what a Makeda Central interview. I'm gonna
Me
thank
too.
you very much.
All right.
Appreciate you.
Keep
so
it going
much.
on, son.
I will.
Yeah, keep the music going because music and art is a weapon of the future.
Exactly.
And so all of us, none of us are free until all of us are free. And I want to tell my people out there, my people of my color, and then it's all of us because we all come from Africa, no matter where you come from. As Peter Tosh said, you're in Africa. I just want to say, stay black until we get back. One love.
Yeah.